probably one of the reasons why you have problems with clowns. Here's your look at the MEGO, the killer clowns from outer space, Slim, the 8-inch action figure. Don't cut yourself, don't cut yourself, don't cut yourself, don't cut yourself. I was expecting twist ties. Artie Abrams, aka the father of the action figure, has relaunched these figures in response to an overwhelming demand. MEGO Corporation was started by his father David Abrams in 1954 and named by his younger brother Howard, who would say MEGO too. Howard later became head of sales for the company. MEGO Corporation sold over 20 million of its now standard 8-inch action figures worldwide, and MEGO Corporation is proud to take over that fine heritage today, tickling your funny bone, all the while turning you into a giant cotton candy. Before we get a closer look at the killer clowns from outer space, Slim, let's first figure out how tall Slim stands. I'm going to go ahead and grab the tape measure here. The figure's 7.5 inches in height, or it's about 19 centimeters tall. Then, to show you how Slim stacks up with another MEGO figure we've just recently had a look at, let's slide over Slim, bringing in the MEGO Nun. Now, Nun considerably is a lot shorter than Slim, and also, ironically enough, she's slimmer than Slim. Of course, completely different bodies they probably use for both the figures here. Sad news for Slim, he doesn't come included with any accessories. Although most of the times we don't generally get a lot of accessories packed along with these 8-inch MEGO figures. Perhaps it could be something that they would release later on, because there are certainly other clowns from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They just so happen to chose Slim. I wonder at some point they're going to still release a Jumbo, Fatso, Shorty, or Rudy, or Spiky. But right now, we only have Slim to work with. Slim is sort of one of the main killer clowns from outer space. Let's get a closer look at the figure right now. I gotta say, they did choose a pretty good clown to start things first. But I gotta imagine, if they've already done a Slim, they have to be releasing more of the killer clowns from outer space in later releases. Let's hope that be the case. Head sculpt is pretty good on this. I do like the way they've sculpted Slim's face. It's sort of an off-white coloring. While it may have started as white plastic, you can clearly see that they've added a scuffing of additional dingier brown to it. Have certainly made his face a little bit more discolored. He has a big smile on his face. That's a smile on for him, more so. Not smile necessarily for you when you realize what's going to happen to you. But I think overall, I'm really happy with the head sculpt here. As we spin this around, you can see he has the little spiked... I don't know if they're actually hairs or they're just spikes sticking out from his head, but he has that same sort of coloring on the back of his. It actually kind of matches the same sort of color scheme as Bozo the Clown, or I guess in some regards, Pennywise the Clown as well, who's a scarier clown. One thing also with this particular figure, and I did mention that this one has a different body than Nun. It definitely seems like there's a much more muscular body, a much broader arms and legs also on this guy as well. I do like the costuming that they went with. Pretty accurate the way it looks in the film as well. The alternating crescent moons, left, right, left. And he has the same striping of blue also on his sleeves. The big ruffled sleeves on the ends of his arms. Again, just to roll this up so you can see. He definitely has, like I said, thicker arms than the Nun we looked at before. The plastic that they used is probably the same type of plastic that they used for the head, but of course then they would have just gone in and made the head a lot dirtier. There's the joint. You can see how sort of the joints work behind the scenes. Single joint in the elbow, we'll talk more about that in the articulation end of things, but it doesn't look like they've done any bit of painting here on the hands. It looks just more a continuation of that same white plastic. The body itself, like I said, it's a little bigger than what we got with the Nun before, but I do like the material that they did put over top of his body. Being that it's also baggier, fills him out a lot more, that even though he is using a MEGO body, being that they did use a sort of one size or two sizes up from the body, does give him the more portlier proportions that he would have had also in the film. This figure also, we can just go a little further down, he does have footwear. The footwear can be removed if you wanted to. He sort of has these curled slippers of softer plastic that you can take them off and you have a look at just a regular MEGO foot underneath. The only thing I find about the problems of using slip-on slippers like this, was it maybe the Candyman? It was maybe the Candyman that we looked at before. I have now since lost one of his shoes. My guess is it probably fell off of his feet when I was probably picking up the figure and it landed somewhere onto the floor. That's one of the downsides of these literally being dressed up dolls, is that things like slippers, if you're not too careful, I don't know why I keep taking it off if I keep talking about losing these things, but slippers and shoes are usually the things that fall off MEGOs first. For Slim's articulation, his head is on a swivel joint, so it's only going to rotate all the way around. It's not on a ball joint or anything like that. The figure, though, does have a ball joint on his torso, so you can rotate it all the way around. You can have him looking down, up, and of course back and forth. His arms come out at a 90-degree angle bend, and sort of you do feel the resistance when you are moving a MEGO arm. You can rotate them back and forth, but you don't want to rotate it too much because, of course, the fabric will start wrapping itself up. The figure does have a single hinge on the elbow, does also have, let me just roll up the sleeve here, a single hinge on the wrist, and you can also rotate the wrist around as well. You can take the legs and you can split them out, because again, they've allotted for enough little baggage there in his costuming. You can actually do a pretty decent splits here on Slim. You take the legs, you can move them forward and back. It's a swivel at the top of the thigh, a single hinge, it seems, on only the knee. And he does have, again, that same hinge joint on the ankle. These figures don't have ankle rockers, but I don't have any real issues getting this guy to stand. Nice looking figure, though. I'm really happy picking this one up. And again, like, being the fact that Killer Klowns it's not Killer Clown. It's plural. There's a lot more than just the Slim here. I hope, again, this means that MEGO is already planning to release the Jumbo, Fatso, Shorty, Rudy, and Spiky. I can't remember. I remembered all of those. Slim is nice. I do appreciate that Slim is now a MEGO figure. But come on, MEGO. We got to make the rest of the Killer Klowns. It's Killer Klowns for a reason. It's plural. Make more than just the Slim. I knew I would forget some of them. In this review, I may have mentioned like 6 Killer Klowns. There's a lot more than 6 Killer Klowns. There's Shorty, Rudy, Spiky, Slim, Bibbo, Bippo, Chubby. I'm trying to think of the other ones as well. Again, it's been a while since I've seen the film, but one thing I am happy with is that MEGO at least is picking up the ball that apparently has just been neglected by other companies. For one reason or another, we just can't get love for the Killer Klowns from Outer Space movie. There has been a time that we did get ourselves a couple of figures from another toy company back in the day, but since then it seemed to have just dropped off. Occasionally there's companies that are doing collectibles based on Killer Klowns, but we never really have gotten true figures of the franchise until, of course, now MEGO. I can't imagine that they would just produce just the one figure and then say, you know what, guys, that's enough, right? There's Killer Klowns from Outer Space fans out there. I'm sure they don't need all the Killer Klowns. We'll just produce the Slim and call it a day. No, I say no, MEGO. Make the rest of the Killer Klowns. You don't have to make the entire lineup and cast from the film, but at least make the notable ones, the ones that everyone remembers when they think of the movie. Speaking of which, though, of the movie and the Killer Klowns that make up the movie, for your video question for today, if you are a fan of the franchise, I guess it's not so much a franchise, it's a single film, but if you are a fan of the Killer Klowns from Outer Space, who's your favorite clown? Let me know down below in the comments section. By the way, if you are interested to pick up the MEGO Slim from Killer Klowns from Outer Space, I did actually grab this one over on Entertainment Earth's website, to which I will provide the link down below in the video description if you guys are interested to add this one to your collection as well. If you guys are new to this channel, you're enjoying the content that you're seeing, if you haven't already done so, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. You can as well turn on the bell notification. And if you're also interested to see the other MEGO reviews that I've done in the past, popping up at the very end of this video will be a playlist of other MEGO reviews. Feel free to give that a gander if you haven't had the chance already. There's definitely going to be more videos coming your way. So as always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.